Now, the World Tourism Organization says global travel continues to grow, up by 5% in the first 8 months of 2013 compared with the same period last year. Tourism ministers and industry leaders are vying for a greater share of those international tourists at the World Travel Market that opened Monday in London. Jim Bolden was also there.
With ethnic music and local foods, countries are flying the flag at the World Travel Market show in London this week. Though for some destinations like Kenya, it's about rebuilding and reassuring the travel business that it's open for business after the Westgate shopping mall massacre. Though Kenya says it did not suffer a hit in tourism.
There was no revision of the travel advisories. So I think that in itself gives it a positive aspect in terms of tourists coming to the country.
But Egypt has suffered from travel warnings issued by governments of key source countries. That hit tourism hard.
August was the worst.
But the tourism minister is trying to convince tourists not to worry.
The situation is not like before. The attacks in the past, the tourist was a target. Today, the tourist is not the target. It's an internal Egyptian issue.
While neighboring Libya is trying to put its battered country back on the tourist map.
Really, we have nice beaches, and Tripoli and all the coast is really safe, and we can receive some people. We have, Libya, 2,000 kilometers of coast and nice Mediterranean Sea.
For some countries, it's not about rebuilding your reputation for tourism. It's about doing things like sports tourism. Poland, of course, had European football championships last year. Next year, it has the Volleyball World Cup. It may be a niche sport, but some of Poland's top players were on hand to play up the country's sports prowess. It did catch the eye of this Polynesian dancer. After opening the Russia stand, the head of the UN's tourism arm told me travel is on the increase this year, thanks mainly to people coming to Europe.
So we have almost 5% growth in Europe, which is very unusual, almost at the world average. Now, if you think of this taking place after a very good year of 2012, then we're doing fine in spite of the economic difficulties.
The WTO says there were 1 billion international travelers in 2012 and estimates that'll rise to 1.8 billion by 2030. Countries and cities here are pulling out all the stops to get travelers to notice them as we start to book our 2014 getaways.